So thank you very much for inviting me to speak. The things I want to stress, because Abbas has made some of the main points, I think, about the position we're in, is just to say the time is now. We have a tremendous opportunity. But in order to take up the opportunities that existential threats like climate change actually present us with, what we've got to do is we've got to get sufficient volume of people with the leadership skills to effectively influence that global decision-making process, and through that leverage investment, because I passionately believe we won't be able to go very far unless we actually get some more money into the process. This gentleman here is a modern philosopher. His name's Peter Drucker, no longer with us unfortunately, but he said some really smart things, and this one, you can't manage what you don't measure. Now, what I would argue is that we actually measure the most important resource we have, which is our planet. Okay, and if we don't measure it, and that's what we do, then we can't make good decisions. So therefore, we're vital to this process. What's the problem for us, as I've just said, is that we've got not enough people who are capable of having the vision and having the insights in order for us to realise these opportunities. And that's what I put on this slide. You know, we've got intense competition as well. There's a lot of people who are looking for the kind of skills that we offer. And if we don't actually provide the opportunities for people to move through and feel they're making a difference, then I don't think we're going to retain the best of our up-and-coming resources. The area that we have identified that we need to fill is around soft skills, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. What we have done is we've put together, this is my organisation, along with a number of colleagues as well, so it's a reasonably sized group of people. We've actually put together what we call the Geospatial Leadership Certificate. I think we can provide a comprehensive training in soft skills, particularly for middle managers, those who've got a fairly technical background and are coming through into us as organisations, expecting them to do things which are not technical. They're much more to do with management. We need to make the training easy, make it self-paced, make it online. We need to make sure that it has a practical basis. Too often we probably talk about theoretical things rather than practice. And we also need to make sure that in the process of building these skills in our future leaders, we're also making sure that we actually give benefit to the organisations in which we work. What I'd like to talk about here is how we think we're going to be able to do it. We put together a syllabus of course modules. It's delivered over a period of 9 months. It's tutored online training. It's relatively small numbers of students. This is not a MOOC. We're not expecting to have thousands of people on each of our courses. And we've divided each of the modules into 3 components. One is putting over the concepts and the principles of the skills we're teaching. We then set an assignment, and then we have a workshop where we bring in experts who actually talk to the students, and the questioning of the experts is actually led by student questions. We're looking to make sure that the assignments are tailored to the student's workplace environment so that, as I say, it can make a benefit to the organisation immediately. The level of commitment is around about 2.5 hours a week, which we think is manageable for most professionals, particularly and importantly if they have ambition. And the content, we're constantly referring back to what the students have said in order to refine the course each time. So we're in the process of actually recruiting for our 3rd. So why geospatial leadership? It's different in some ways. I mean, you know, we too often say spatial is special. But what we've tried to do here is distill out things that will be relevant to the students and they can relate to what they're doing. So we're using geospatial experts to deliver the material. We've put together a series of scenarios which we call stretch deliverables, which are the kind of things that the students want to do, but perhaps because of constraints around the organisation and the ability to find the money to do these things, they're unable to do. We've done a series of podcasts with industry influencers, and the students can watch those and gain insights immediately into the areas that are of interest to them. We've also put together a series of background papers which are relevant to geospatial, but cover the management topics that we're interested in. What we've done in order to sort of illustrate this is, and it's all about leadership, and one of the aspects of leadership is how do you sell a value proposition. We're doing this all the time, and we need to do that in a professional way. So we've put together a very short video, which when you get the slides afterwards, you can go and have a look at, which actually puts down what we think the value is to students, what the value is to the organisation, but also how it helps us as an industry to grow as well. So we've got some core modules which we believe are fundamental to all of the students. Team development, business case development, so that they can actually assert what the value of the project is, and effectively communicating with senior managers. And then we've got a series of what we call elective modules, where the students choose 2 out of the 6, and these cover things like project management, geomaturity and governance, sustainable business models. Our business models are changing, and we need to realise what that means for us as organisations. We also cover marketing strategy, because whatever we're doing, whether we're in the public sector or the private sector, we need to market what we're doing. And I think already over the last day and a half, we've seen that we're quite good at putting together things, but we're not necessarily that good at marketing what they are. Negotiation. We do that with our children every day, and it's something that we probably know how to do intuitively, but we don't necessarily have the conceptual underpinning for how you go about that process. And also, we're not looking to teach people to be salespeople, but we need our leaders to actually understand the basics of the sales process. So I'm not going to go through this one in detail, you can look at it afterwards, but this just gives you an idea of the kind of things that we're doing. And this one's around communication, because this is something that's come up already this week as being fundamental. We look at principles, we look at the idea of storytelling, which is basically the underpinning of most of the way that we communicate and get messages across. Understanding the audience, knowing how to deliver an elevator pitch, something that takes 2 minutes but persuades a senior manager to actually give you more time, and then how you assess and refine the message. So these are the basic topics that we cover on this particular module. So just to finish off, my key takeaways are the evidence for the requirement is obvious, and I think we're going to talk even more about it during the rest of the week. The reward is equipping our future leaders to play a more meaningful part in informing decision-making on key global challenges. And those global challenges don't come larger than climate change, for instance. And we've developed what we think is now a tested solution through the students that we've had go through the course already, to one part of the skills gap. This is not the whole of the skills gap, and that's what we're trying to flesh out, I think, over the course of this session. And we're keen to collaborate on the material that we've developed with the UN GGIM community. If you want to talk to us, we're keen to help, and please, there are a series of ways of getting in touch with us there. Thank you very much.